You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Now it's time for Facts First.
All right, thanks, Mick. We've got some facts here that we want to go through, and the first fact for today is who released the first cassette tape? Okay.
Good question, yeah.
It is a good question. While the compact cassette was introduced by Philips in 1963 for voice recording and dictation, pre-recorded music cassettes began appearing in late 65, early 66. One of the first major artists to have a commercially released music cassette was actually the Rolling Stones, with their 1966 compilation album Big Hits, High Tide and Green Grass.
Never heard it.
Not familiar
no,
with that.
not at all.
I mean, the Stones we know, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's a compilation, so we'll know the songs, but not that specific record. But this marked an early milestone in using cassettes as a music format. Though initially slow to catch on, cassette tapes gained widespread popularity in the 70s and 80s, especially for their portability and for their use as mixtapes. We all made mixtapes, didn't we, as kids?
Oh, everyone did it, yeah.
Record songs off the radio, things like that. But the first cassette tape released in Australia. Okay, that's a bit of a more tricky question.
Yeah, yeah.
In May 1967, EMI Australia became one of the first major record companies to release pre-recorded music cassettes. They imported 26 titles. I don't know the titles, and Mick couldn't find them for us. No. From EMI UK and Decca UK across the Columbia, Decca, HMV, and Parlophone record labels. This marked the official entry of the cassette format into the Australian music market. But by the early 70s, again, long before we were born, but
70s,
the 70s,
man,
EMI began manufacturing cassettes locally at Homebush in New South Wales.
Is that right? Australian production?
1970s they started.
1970s. Wow, that's a bit of a throwback. So I'm going to jump in here to the first CD release. So this was one I was unfamiliar with. The first commercially released compact disc was Billy Joel's 52nd Street.
Great album.
Great album, great artist, which was issued on October 1st, 1982 in Japan by Sony. Originally released on vinyl in 78, so obviously it went from vinyl to CD a couple of years later. It was selected as a debut CD to demonstrate the capabilities of the new digital audio format. So although ABBA's The Visitors was the first CD ever manufactured during the testing phase, Billy Joel's 52nd Street holds the distinction of being the first CD made available to the public.
Yeah, I would have withheld ABBA's album as well. I would have gone with Billy Joel
again,
too.
Popular artist, big artist, so...
Yeah, right.
Anyway, jumping in next, the first CD released and manufactured in Australia. So here's some interesting ones for us. Well, I wouldn't have picked this, so... Any thoughts? Guess? No?
Well, I know the first CD made in Australia, but what's the first one that was released in Australia?
So it was Dire Straits' Brother in Arms was the first CD available in Australia when it was released in 1985. It was among the earliest albums recorded, mixed and mastered entirely digitally, helping to popularise the CD format worldwide and with its superior sound and durability. Again, that's something in debate. Some people like the vinyl, some people like CDs, but
it's interesting. Well, if you made it digitally and released it on a digital format, that kind of makes sense. I didn't know that Brothers in Arms was a digital recording.
So this was the first CD to actually be manufactured in Australia. Was John Farnham's Whispering Jack in 1985.
Yes, I knew that.
Of course, Johnny Farnham, making it a key step in local CD production.
We might have a little more about Whispering Jack.
A little bit more,
later.
yeah. Pretty big figure in Australian music.
I'd say so. The first band or artist, though, to release their entire catalogue on the new digital compact disc format was the Beatles.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah,
I have here for our YouTube viewers, they can see the Beatles box set here, full of compact discs. In 1987, the Beatles became the first major band to reissue their entire catalogue on CD, starting with Please Please Me, their first album, and continuing in chronological order. And this move played a key role in establishing the CD as the preferred format at the time, helping to accelerate the shift away from vinyl and cassettes. There you go. So, right here, Beatles box set. Beatles are probably one of my favourite
mine too,
artists, definitely. But not really a millennial band per se, although their music goes across all the different generations.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's time that we go and have a look at our top five.
Top five sounds good.